I've launched properties in the slow season and in the busy season multiple times in multiple different markets. And this is a video demonstration, a case study of both scenarios with real properties that I've stood up and managed. It's a video that I made for a prospective client because he was under the impression that it was better to launch in slow season rather than right now at the beginning of busy season. So this is just that video that I made for this prospect demonstrating real historic times that I've done that in different properties in different markets. So hope it's useful information. Enjoy. Hey, Steven. So here's that case study I promised you. This property right here is in Indio, California, and it's busy season. All right, so the Indio, California busy season begins in about November and goes through April. And so we launched this property in July, in one of the actually slowest times of year. All right, from July through March 2025, so in July 2024, that's when we launched this property right here. It did $49,874.43 in bookings. All right, so that was a very painful start. You know, things felt good once they started picking up in November and bookings started pouring in. And then we carried some pretty good momentum into the following slow season. So if we compare July 2025 March 2026, the same property right here, it did $70,144.45 in bookings. That's 40% more money, same time frame. All right, and so we captured much less bookings launching the slow season during the slow season than we would have gotten if we'd entered slow season with some momentum, some reviews, and some trust. Now, I have experienced this nearly every time I have launched in slow season. Very rare exception. There are some anomalies, but by and large, launching in slow season is slow and painful. Now, this property, I just launched this last month in February. 0 reviews. We now have 8 5-star reviews. All right. This is my home. I bought this last year, did some construction and designed it and launched it about 6 weeks ago, actually. It was the second week of February. So we are traveling the country looking in the best markets to do short-term rental, standing up on-the-ground operations, helping local investors maximize the profitability of their short-term rentals. And if you want that kind of help, if you want to know what it takes to extract the most profit out of your short-term rental, no matter where it is in the country, get your free analysis from us. It's free, like I just said, and you will get very valuable insights. Fill out the form, get the analysis, just do it. I promise you won't regret it. For the month of March, so, and this is in St. Louis, by the way, all right? So St. Louis, Missouri, busy season begins in March and goes through about September. Then it really starts to slow down for the winter, all right? So this is a summer market, unlike India, which is a winter market. By the way, it's really cool to have properties in offsetting markets, so it really diminishes the seasonality of income that you feel, really evens it out. So that's a nice situation to be in, FYI, as a side note. That said, all right, I launched this property last month, February, and March, we're just about finishing up the month, and we have $10,812.93 in bookings for the month of March. And next month, April, we have $11,942. This is busy season numbers. To compare that, there's one other property that we launched in slow season in this same market. All right, so here it is, 5-bed, 3-bath compared to a 4-bed, 3.5 bath that I just showed you. We launched this last year. And so it's March, that listing that's been there for a bit, it did a little over 15K for March. All right, March is a busier month than April historically. And so in April, this same property, which obviously April hasn't got here yet, but nonetheless, on the books, we have 14.3 thousand for a seasoned property that has some, you know, it has bookings under its belt. It's got 11 reviews as opposed to 8, and it's been around a little bit longer, and the calendar has had more lead time to fill in. And if we look at the calendars, this property is pretty much completely booked for April. And so is this one. All right, so we're in basically a ramp up phase for both of these properties, or sorry, for just this one, but that ramp up phase is moving pretty quick with April already bringing in more bookings than we got in March, at least in dollar amount, in a month that it's supposed to be slower. And then May, June, July, August, I expect to be great. The moral of the story is that your ramp up goes way faster when you launch in the busy season every time, always. All right. And so if your property, get in, do a new photo shoot this month during the dip, launch it in May, we're going to ride that Airbnb wave all the way through the summer, right into the slow season, and have more of an experience like this property did in its second year rather than its first, where we have to get through an entire season of pain, finally have some fun in the busy season, and then have momentum going into the slow season. We can just skip all that slow season pain and have a very decent busy season and a great slow season. So I think those are the two choices. Obviously, it's your call, it's your home, but I obviously very passionately believe that we can turn things around for that home pretty much right now. And so I hope we get the opportunity to do that. I'll follow up with you later this week.
If you're watching this and thinking that your Airbnb should be doing more than it actually is, that's exactly what we're set up to help investors fix. Click the link to get your free STR analysis to find out exactly what's holding back your property.